So actually I derived this topic from door dashing. I will tell you. And I thought about this, like, can you think of, I'm going to give you an example of mine, the little things that like you used to do all the time, like you're committed to, this is your lifestyle, this is part of who you are. And all of a sudden you're thrust into these other situations and that goes away. And I'm going to give you a silly example, but it's a real example. And that is, and it's because of the age in which I grew up, when we had entire advertising campaigns around wearing your seatbelt.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's been drilled into our heads from the day I got my driver's license. You got to wear your seatbelt. We have to wear our seatbelts, seatbelt. Now I'm driving DoorDash, right? I'm in my car. I'm out of my car picking up the order. I get in my car. I rush to deliver. I'm like, this fucking seatbelt. And I've noticed I stopped wearing it.
Interesting.
And I'm so aware of it. Like there's guilt involved with not wearing it. And sometimes I'm like halfway down the road and I'm like, oh, I guess I should put it on. So I put it on while I'm driving. And then when I get to my location, I get pissy about the seatbelt.
It doesn't drive you nuts with that stupid bell going off? Or do you plug it in and then sit on it?
No, I don't. I'm deaf and I'm playing my radio at 5,000 decibels so I can hear my podcast because it's podcast. So yeah, no, I don't hear the bell. Yeah, no, I don't hear the bell. Sorry. But I'm just like, I'm so dedicated to the seatbelt. I'm like, I'm in someone else's car. I put my seatbelt on. It's all about, and here I am, like in this different walk of life, doing things differently than I've ever done before. And I'm like, nope, not putting on the seatbelt. It's too much work. I'm going to take it off. And I'm just like, who am I? Have you noticed those things in your life?
I'm trying to think of something.
Because when I was younger and we were going to church, and my mom went with us because my sister and I went religiously, right, at the time. So my mom started going with us, and then she started doing craft fairs. Like my mom, very crafty. And she started doing craft fairs. And every once in a while, they would be on Saturday and Sunday. So she would miss church. And one of the deacons of the church would get condescending to my mother and be like, I can't believe you're missing church. It's sacrilegious, blah, 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 blah. And then many moons later, his wife started going to craft fairs. And guess what? She started missing Sundays.
Of course.
And did he say a word? No. And of course, my mom was like, he's blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
you know what that sounds like, Sherry? I mean, this is an extreme, but during the Salem witch trials, right? Like they were burning these women who were basically like the women who were single and like to have sex, and us, like we would have been burned, right?
I would, please.
But then when I think it was the mayor of Salem, I could be wrong, but I feel like it was the mayor or the deacon of the church, some man of prominence in Salem, when his wife was accused of being a witch. Oh, then they stopped. Then it was wrong. Then it was like,
yeah, but that's people suck.
Yeah, they do.
And that, I mean, you and I are people, unfortunately. So, I mean, there are moments when I suck. And
I totally suck. My friend, in fact, one of the things we were laughing about was her and I had gone to Nashville, and I had like a 35-minute window where I was just the devil for like no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like,
let's get away. Freedom's acting like the devil.
It was like no reason, but like she asked me to hold her stuff when she wanted to go. And now she just bought her kids like these ukuleles, and I was like, no, I'm not holding your, like, just come in the bathroom. And she's like, you're such a dick. It was such a dick thing to do, and for zero reason.
And yet, And are you telling me that you recognize now that it was a dick move? Is that what you're telling me?
100%. I totally apologize. Like in the moment, though, I wasn't thinking it was the dickhead thing to do. I was just like, why don't you just come to the bathroom? Like, I don't understand. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, she's these two huge ukuleles. Like she didn't want to bring up this, but I just wasn't even thinking about it. And then it was so funny, Sherry. This was so bad. Not just like a little, it was like, oh, and then I'm like, I deserve this.
Yeah. That's funny, I often say the same thing to myself. I deserve this. Like
Yeah.
I made this bed. I'm gonna have to lie in it.
Yeah. Sometimes you do. Like sometimes we are just shitty people.
And sometimes we're not.
Sure.
Right. And I think that that's a good balance in life. Like, and part of it is just recognizing it, right? Is recognizing those moments when you're a shitty person. And it's the same thing with recognizing I should be wearing my seatbelt, so I'm going to put it on. But it does kind of open your eyes to the fact that sometimes maybe something that you have done all of your life that you're committed to doing isn't always the answer to everything, right? Sometimes there are other answers.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say wearing your seatbelt is, probably pretty important, especially the way I drive, which I'm fully aware is just, I have a friend, Kim and Joey, like they're always like, my kids, they just had their baby, cutest little thing. Little baby girl. They're like, this kid's never driving with you. She's never getting in your car.